The Book of Parables. Isaiah's Doxological Similitudes. Chapter 1. Now thus is the book of the blessing of Isaiah, by which he was blessed, numbered among the elect and justified, who are foreseeing the day of tribulation, forsook all of his sins, renouncing and denouncing all the wicked and godless, unto whom it is unbeknownst the acceleration of both vision and prophecy, as in the very fulfillment thereof, even unto the very day of the great separation, where at that time they shall become as wood before the furnace, by sovereign decree appointed for complete and utter removal. For it is the time of the very vintage afore the great gleaning, when the wheat and the tares have reached full maturity. This is the consummation of the age, predestined afore the foundation of the earth by Yahusha, as a witness of that which even now is. Isaiah shall give his account and answer unto Elohim, thus declaring this testament which concerneth all that he saw come to pass, while the eyes of his Ruach were yet opened, for to perceive in the Ruach by the Ruach this, a holy vision. Yahweh Adonai Tsevaoth alone revealed these things unto me, from whence beheld I all that I would later consider with insight, first dimly, then also in fullness, that I mayest behold an end of all flesh, things not for a remote generation, neither for a people afar off yet for to come, but for this final generation. On account of true Yasharel, who also by name are called the elect of Yahusha Kana, whose name is jealous, therefore upon our account didst I proceed for to write. And yea, whiles yet speaking with him, I took up my parable, as in mine solemn and express similitude, namely, a doxology filled with great praise, as a blessing which toucheth both heaven and earth appertaineth. Yahusha Hanilcham Vahamanatseach Tamid El Oivav, the sovereign Elohim, who thus declareth, I am the sovereign Lord, the almighty Saviour, I that am glorious in mine apparel, travelling in the greatness of my strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. For I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there is none with me. For I have trodden them in mine anger, and trampled them in my wrath, and sprinkled their blood upon my garments, and stained all mine raiment. Therefore will I also remember the mercies of the Lord, and the praises of the Lord, according to all that the Lord hath bestowed upon us, and the great goodness toward the house of Yasharel, which he hath given us according to his tender loving kindness, and according to the multitude of his mercies. For he said, Surely they are my people, children that will not lie. So he thus became our salvation. Therefore the Almighty shall soon depart from his lofty and majestic throne. Our great and eternal Eloah, who seated betwixt the cherubim, from his high holy habitation, shall he come down to repay as a thief in the night repayeth, by an untimely visitation, for to execute vengeance thereupon his league. For with great zeal, and for his high holy name's sake, he maketh the condemned an open spectacle of righteous judgment, that he may quench the raging flames of his fiery indignation. For the Lord, by the slain of his sword, as by the word of his mouth, upbraideth and uprooteth all that rebel, and in futility imagine vain things against him. For by unquenchable fire doth he adjudicate, and all onlookers do tremble. Thus shalt he ease himself of all his adversaries, that in that day and from thenceforth he alone is crowned Melech Melachim Va'adon Adonim, Yahusha El Shaddai, the King of kings and Lord of lords. For he is the originator and maker of all the players, of the onlookers, of the league, and all they that do contend therein. Yea, he shall soon tread upon the highly exalted places of the league. As he is revealed with his most mighty hosts, even his aforechosen, the elite company of the overcoming and overachieving all-stars, and his fame will be made known throughout all the earth. Yea, even as his great power reveals him as Most High. Thus all are horribly afraid. The onlookers are also weighed down with a heavy and burdensome stone. For in that day, saith Yahweh Sebaoth, shall it be revealed unto them as the rock of offence. Unto all they that do offend, who art, yea, wholly gathered round about, is set forth a cup of much terror and of great staggering. But unto the elect who of the league art besieged, doth the Lord make himself known unto them as the rock of defence. And great reeling shall seize all onlookers even unto the uttermost ends of the league. The lights hath gone out, the bulbs too are withdrawn of their fluorescent shining. Yea, the entire league loudly waileth, this a most bitter and doleful lamentation. For the Lord uttereth his thunderous voice with a great and tumultuous shout. The high rims are made low, each and every rim and backboard are, yea, wholly rent asunder. The entire league is utterly astonished at the very sight, and at the sounds thereof. For calamity cometh upon all, even as birth pangs come suddenly upon a woman with child, wherein none shall escape. For all that therein is doth come to naught. Yea, they becometh as though they hadst never been. For fierce rebuke is poured out upon all, upon the onlookers, the players, the coaches, the referees, the entire league, yea, even the very commissioner thereof. For the Lord entereth into judgment with them, even as he entereth into Jerusalem, in unto his holy courts therein his set-apart borders, in the land of Yasharel. For in that day he shall rule with a rim's rod of iron, even forever and ever, in the majesty of his great glory. Then he will recover all that is his, and make us fully satiate, as we become abundantly blessed. For the splendor of Yahweh shall shine forth, as he doth smile upon us for evermore, yea, even as his countenance shineth forever and ever upon his elect one. For behold, cometh El Yahushua in the clouds, with clouds upon the clouds, for to cut off all dwellers of the land of Idumea. For with his sword, which is bathed in heaven, and by unquenchable fire, hath that day come swiftly upon thee. What is that fragrant smell? It is a sweet savour arisen unto our eternal Eluah. For as an evening oblation is offered in that day of thick darkness, a summoning of flesh destroying birds swoopeth down upon the carcass, even upon a once highly revered eagle. For a very great slaughter is foreseen as from afar off. For it is even Yahusha's sacrifice in Botzrah. Yea, a great slaughter in the land of Edom, even a great banquet, a summoning of the king's guests, as a great grape gathering of clusters from a most ready and ripened vine, for it is time. Yea, even a final supper, prepared by our Adoni Yahusha in the valley of hosts. This the flesh of they who didst only always wholly oppressed, even all they that do dwell in the land therein, yea, both man and beast, to the end that all which remaineth be, yea, utterly cut off by slaughter. Esau, O Esau, my beloved brother, hath not that day come upon thee as a thief in the night? Thou hast been made an utter waste for thy lies and deception. For thou hast hidden the truth under the cleft of the rocks. For thou hast resorted to underhanded schemes, withholding the wages of the slaves who built the lavishness of thy heaping. For thou hast led captive into all countries wheresoever Yahweh hath driven us. All thy labourers are thus destitute because of thy wretched counsel and wicked bloodshed. Thus there is now no turning back. For lo and behold, the books are opened, and like thy brotherly covenant, which thou hast forsaken, the seals are now broken, as the final trumpet soundeth the alarm of war. What hath been concealed of ancient in the counsels of Teman are now easily spotted out. O Mount of Seir, hear the word of Yahweh, there is none soundness in thee. Therefore all thy posterity, and all who do tremble because of thee, art stuck therein thy perpetual fate, O Esau, and shalt be utterly consumed by the Almighty Sovereign and Eternal Elohim Tsebaoth. O thou that hissest with the hiss of him who hissed in the earlobe of Chua, now thou shalt perish by the brotherly hatred of Cain, who from the beginning deceived. Even as for the wickedness of the household of Yehuda and thine beloved brother, the whole house of Yaakov didst not go wholly unpunished. Therefore shalt thou weep beneath the secret places of the earth, even as Sheol rejoiceth at thy descent therein, O Esau thy posterity, O Edom and all they whom thou hast deceived. Yet shall we rejoice in the day of the righteous retribution. Yea, shall we yet pray Yahweh Tsebaoth, that he wouldest even quickly make haste, yet for our sake. Therefore weep, O ye people of Seir, yet praise ye Yahweh, O ye inhabitants and congregants of Sion, for Yahusha hath set the captives free. Rejoice, and again I say be exceedingly glad, for he hath dealt righteously. The just vindication even meet unto all the earth. For in that day hath we already seen the salvation and glory of Yahweh, even as he prospereth us bountifully in the day of the doom of Idumea, even in that very day of their destruction. Therefore sing Yahushiana, ye poor and contrite of Ruach. Yea, play a new tune upon the piped instruments, for he hath dealt a new blessing from up above, and now walking amongst us forevermore is our great and almighty Saviour, he who is faithful and true, he who is drenched in glory, even the glory of his crimson-stained apparel.